This is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardinis, to use this as an educational material. No copyright infringement is intended.
Good day, everyone. This presentation explores the global divide between the North and the South, a framework that helps us understand persistent inequalities in development, power, and opportunity. We'll define key terms like Global South, Global North, and structural inequality, trace the historical roots of this divide, and examine how concepts have evolved from the Third World to more inclusive models. We'll also analyze economic indicators, critique the Brundtland, and highlight Latin America's role in reshaping global relations. Ultimately, our goal is to reflect on equity, agency, and the future of inclusive global governance.
Defining Global North and Global South, the Global North includes counter-strikes like the US, Germany, and Japan. Nations with high income, advanced technology, and stable institutions. In contrast, the Global South refers to regions such as Africa, Latin America, and parts of Asia, which often face challenges rooted in post-colonial history and uneven development. These terms go beyond geography. They reflect power's dynamics, access to resources, and global influence. Understanding these distinctions helps us analyze inequality not just in terms of wealth, but also in terms of opportunity, representation, and historical context.
The idea of a North-South divide gained traction with the Brand Report in 1980, which mapped global inequality based on income and development. Earlier in 1969, Carl Oglesby used the term Global South to critique Northern dominance. These concepts emerged during a Cold War, a time when global alliances were shaped by ideological conflict. The divide isn't just economic, it is also about structural inequality, where systems and institutions perpetuate disparities. Recognizing the origins help us understand why the divide persists and how it is embedded in global governance.
Historically, the term Third World was used during the Cold War to describe countries that were not aligned with either the US or the USSR. Today, it's considered outdated and even pejorative as it implies inferiority. The term Global South is more accurate and respectful, highlighting shared experience of colonization, underdevelopment, and resistance. Many of these nations are part of non-aligned movement, which sought independence from superpower influence. Using the right terminology matters. It shapes how we perceive global relations and legitimacy of Southern voices. Global South describes a group developing formerly colonized countries in Africa, Asia, and Latin America, which share political and economic characteristics. While Third World is an outdated Cold War era term for nations not aligned with the capitalist First World or US and Communist Second World or Soviet Union, carrying negative connotations of poverty and instability. The term Global South has largely replaced Third World because it is more neutral, reflects changing geopolitical dynamics, and avoid the negative biases associated with Third World.
The global divide developed because of colonialism, when European powers extracted resources and labor from the global south, creating dependency. During the Industrial Revolution, the global north gained a technological and economic advantage, while the south was left behind. Today, global capitalism continues this inequality through unfair trade, foreign debt, unequal investment, and restrictive loan conditions from institutions like the IMF and World Bank. Many southern countries fall into a debt trap where loans from the north limit their ability to fund development. This is explained by the dependency theory, which argues that the South is stuck in a cycle of exploitation while the North benefits.
The divide is visible in many areas. The global north dominates global wealth, education, and technological innovation. Meanwhile, the global south often experiences lower life expectancy, limited access to quality education, and weaker institutions. The Human Development Index, which measures income, education, and health, shows a stark contrast. There's also a growing digital divide where access to internet and technology remains uneven. These disparities affect everything from economic growth to political participation, making it harder for southern countries to compete on equal footing.
Brand line is a visual tool that separates the global north and south based on income and development. While it highlights inequality, it oversimplifies reality. Many southern countries are rising, and some northern regions face poverty. The concept of geoeconomics helps us understand how geography and economics intersect to shape global power. Global governance, the institution and rules that manage international relations, often reflects northern priorities. Recognizing the limitations of the brand line encourages us to look beyond maps and focus on live realities.
Today, the North and South divide is being challenged. Globalization has created new connections, and some southern countries like China, India, and Brazil are becoming emerging markets. This also growing South-to-South cooperation, where countries in Global South collaborate on trade, development, and diplomacy. Regionalism is rising, with blocs like ASEAN and African Union promoting shared goals. This shift shows that South is not just passive recipient of aid. It is an active player reshaping global norms and asserting its own priorities.
Latin America has played a key role in challenging global divides. Thinkers like Raoul Prebisch and institutions like ECLAC promoted structuralist economics, arguing that development must reflect local realities. The Cuban Revolution emphasized sovereignty and resistance to imperialism. Regional organizations like UNASUR and CEGLAC aim to strengthen Latin American unity and influence. Through multipolar diplomacy, Latin America engages with diverse global actors, offering alternative models of development and governance that prioritize equity and cultural relevance.
New global vision is emerging, one that values equity, inclusive governance, and alternative development. Latin America and other southern regions are advocating for models that reflect their history, cultures, and needs. These approaches challenge the idea that cultures must develop and must follow northern paths. Instead, they promote sustainability, participation, and dignity. By embracing contextual development, the South is redefining what progress means and showing that there's no one-size-fits-all solution to global challenges.
In conclusion, the North-South divide is rooted in history, but it's not fixed. The rise of Southern voices, especially in Latin America, shows that agency and global justice are within reach. A fairer world requires cooperation, recognition of diversity, and shared responsibility. By understanding the divide and supporting inclusive solution, we can build a global system that works for everyone, not just the powerful few. Let's move forward with empathy, awareness, and commitment to equity.